Good evening. Good evening. Hello. I'm just hoping everybody. Hello. Okay. I'm going to be sending you guys invitations. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. How is everyone?
Getting you.
I can't. Let me just turn up my volume.
Hi.
I can see you now.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. So,
Okay,
congrats, by the way.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been one of a busy day.
I can imagine. Oh, lots to do and everything's happening all at once.
Isn't it just? So, happy International Women's Day, lovelies.
Yeah.
Is everyone there? Tarina, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Mish.
I'm just trying to add everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. I can see some people. I'm just waiting to get Michelle. Where are you? So many comments coming up. Okay. Look at all your beautiful faces. Now, if there's anyone else that is supposed to be coming on, just, let me know, because there's people coming and it's just going too fast. Oh, look at you with your...
I love that. That is so awesome.
Cool. That is awesome. That is brilliant.
I don't even know how to take it all.
Bring the smiles. Okay. So how's everyone's day been?
Good, yeah, mine's been fantastic. And everyone else's?
Busy.
You had me in tears, so I'm okay.
I keep on saying, like, everyone's been crying today, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Hey, Arini, how are you, my lovely? So, tell me, guys, this is International Women's Day. This is like a huge deal, especially in this country, because a lot of women were kept back from doing things longer than other countries. So the fact that there's a bunch of us in all different parts of this country that are coming together, that want to make change within our industry, within our personal lives, within our friendships. I mean, we set the bar for the people that are going to come after us.
Yeah.
And we have to be more forward thinking.
Yes.
You're all very quiet this evening.
Yeah. I think we're all waiting for someone to have an epiphany in this very moment, and all of a sudden it's solved. We solved world hunger. We solved everything.
I just think it's a continuous thing, continuously just not stopping. Even when it gets tough, when you're in the hole, there's someone else who will speak up for you when you can't. And somehow you get the courage and like, yeah, I can do this too. Let's keep on going.
Exactly.
And especially for women.
Yeah.
I think also, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. You go first. You go first.
No, I just wanted to say that it's all the more important for us to stay in community because of that, because hard days do come. And, being women, we know that certain times are harder than other times. And if we are in a community like what we're building with SAIAA, it's so much easier to stay on top of that and to stay motivated and focused on what it is we need to do.
Yeah. I mean, as it
Yes.
grows, it's just going to become more and more, productive and helpful and just full of absolute love and light. So
Yeah.
it's exciting stuff.
I think what I like about it is the fact that, so you'll see the noises in society where a lot of women are played off of each other, and it's quite a big thing, and it's quite a worrying thing, because if anything, we should be standing together even more so, because
Mm.
we understand our needs, because we have all of these hormonal things that the opposite sex doesn't have. And we have all of these things that make us different, yet we will let jealousy take over, or I can't let this person shine because it's going to outshine me. That
Yeah.
shouldn't be the case. We should all be able to say we all bring something different, and we should all be celebrating that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just continue learning from one another. You never stop learning from another person. You think you know everything, but darling, no. And especially from different cultures, different ages. Yeah, it's beautiful to learn constantly.
Yeah. I think people worry too much about maybe looking a certain way or sounding a certain way and having to be like the latest.
Maybe.
Huh? Was that
Nothing.
me?
Oh, it was just
No?
someone's echo.
Trying to be the latest thing that's on a magazine or on what they're saying is the best thing. Be this size, look this way, have your hair this way, write this way, speak this way.
Ah,
And we're not robots.
no.
We shouldn't be perfect, because that's not what being human is about. Being human is about being able to make these mistakes, learn, love, grow, evolve, and pick each other up when things are getting tough sometimes. Instead of berating somebody or saying, well, you're not good enough, or you don't look good enough, or you're not wearing the latest designer outfit.
Yeah.
And it's quite sad, especially when we see it in children nowadays at a very young age comparing themselves.
Yeah.
And that is a worry, and I don't know about any of you, but I want to leave a positive footprint when I leave. I want to be able to say, you know what, I did my best, and I tried to leave a legacy for other women to grow, and for my grandkids and for my daughters to have a better space than when I left.
Yeah. Exactly.
Guys,
But the whole thing is, the problem is social media is a very scary and degrading place for a lot of women as is, because you put your face out there and it's, they're going to comment on something because you're always going to have those trolls.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then you also
Yeah.
look at even us as indie authors, as soon as somebody, and we've seen it, where you can have great comments, as soon as somebody gets that one negative comment, it spirals them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know what? The way I look at it is that everyone is going to like something and not everyone is going to like something. And if it's not your book, so what? They might like Irini's book, they might like Natasha's book, but they might not like my book. And that's okay. But as soon as you start absorbing all of that negative stuff, then we're just keeping that spiral going and pushing it out. And then we're teaching our kids that actually, hey, we can't, we can't let go of the negative.
Yeah,
We
yeah, and I
said it's
think it's
all, yeah, sorry.
no. It's just, that thing of, like you say, it's comparing ourselves to others, and instead of striving to be the best version of ourselves. And it's such a freeing thing to get to a point where, like, you don't care what your hair looks like when you're on a live.
That's me.
Or, um, you know, like you say, like accepting the fact that not everyone is going to like what you write, but continuing writing for your own reasons, not necessarily for fame and fortune. And that's when you really start to get into what makes life truly meaningful. And yeah, I think just being able to encourage one another to continue in that sort of line of thought, because each one of us brings something special to the table. Every person's
Exactly.
had different life experiences and yeah, just a different perspective on things. And when you can learn to embrace all of that and to learn from each other, even if you're learning the same thing, but just from a different perspective, it becomes such a powerful movement.
Oh, yes.
It really is. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
beauty of it. When you create these like sisterhoods, I've still got friends that I've known for many, many years, and they've been on retreats, and these women are still in little groups together. They don't live in the same area, but they talk at least once a week. And you know what? That's amazing, because if you can build that bond with somebody and you can feel that connection, you feel heard, you feel seen, and it might make the rest of what's going on a little bit better for yourself and for the people around you, And oh, yeah, somebody else. There's I've got lots of people trying to join, but I can't really see who they are. So, but I think the problem also is that we worry too much about other people's opinions on us. I gave up wearing makeup and doing my hair many, many years ago when I became very ill. And I was like, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. And I'm like, if you like me, you like me as I am, with or without the makeup, with the silver hair,
I think selective. When I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go all out. But otherwise,
Yeah,
what's the bother? We were talking about it the other day, or a few people I've been speaking to. The word has been thrown around authenticity, being real.
yeah,
And it's not always easy,
no,
being yourself or getting that critique. But when you can't fight for yourself, there is going to be other people in the comment section that's going to be like, hey, I disagree with that. Or maybe look at it from this perspective. Or maybe try this book if you don't like this book. There's always a
exactly.
way.
Yeah. I mean, look at Pamela Anderson, for instance. When she came out, not wearing makeup, not wearing this and not doing that, she got absolutely ridiculed by the press.
Thrashed.
And I'm like, what? She's a beautiful woman, and why I think because negativity sells. That's
Oh,
what the
yeah.
problem is. It sells, and we just have to stand together as women and say, well, you know what? No.
Mm.
We appreciate ourselves for who we are.
I mean,
I
it still happens to this day on social media and on any famous woman. They
Yeah.
change anything about them. It's like vultures. They just go.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
It's quite
you've
sad.
got to ignore it most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, even trying to say let's ignore it, it sits in your subconscious.
Mm,
And then
Yeah.
that comparison and that energy comes up and it talks to you and you start feeling really bad about yourself. And I think that's why when I like stand up against something, I'm pretty vocal about it, and I get passionate about it, because I will never be silenced again. ever.
Yeah.
Not by anyone. So for me, if you don't like what I'm saying, then there's another platform for you to be on. Do you know what I mean? But I think that also might come with age
Yeah, and I think it
and
also, like
experience.
for me, it definitely came with becoming a mother. When I look at my own daughter and I see,
Yeah.
you know, this beautiful little girl that she is, but still, you know, kids are mean,
Yeah.
So mean.
as they are.
Ruthless. So honest.
But yeah, just trying to encourage her to be like, you're so perfect in who you are. So doing that that really helped me to see, like, you know, people are going to be out there. They're going to be haters are going to hate, but we need to find a healthier source of our own self-worth.
There you
It's
go.
hard though. It really is hard. It's like you
It's
say,
very
it
hard.
still like creeps into your mind and gives you those insecurities.
It's
But
very scary.
The inner saboteur comes alive.
Yes.
I think it was,
exactly, and then
you can even make a character of it if you
Of
wanted to
course.
in your
100%.
yes,
book.
This is why I tell you all
Yeah.
to put names with your
Yes,
inner demons.
yes,
yes,
yes, and then write them in as the villains of your book, and you can kill them
Exactly.
off at the
yes,
end.
Exactly.
yes. Love that.
The
Several
sad
times over and then some. And I don't know, it feels like for me personally over the past couple of years, if I get bad critique or whatever, then I use it as fuel. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay,
You do it out of
let's
spite.
go.
Yeah.
Spite fuels you.
Let's go. So, but I wasn't like that. Believe me, I wasn't like
Definitely.
that. People pleaser of note, and I'm sure we can all say the same.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I was having a conversation earlier with one of our members. We were actually talking about kids and how the way life is now. So, like for us, leaving a legacy is a thing. But what she was telling me is that in this country, 1 in 4 children will commit suicide. Yeah, 1 in 4. Yeah, that's frightening.
That is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Oh,
And it's we had a huge conversation this morning about it, and I'm like, well, this also comes down to people trying to lead perfect lives and not make mistakes and not show emotions and not understanding emotions and being able to write about your emotions and feeling safe, you know. And I think that being a writer, that helps release this stuff that's stuck in your head, right? So if we can teach this to younger kids without putting them into perfect little molds, we might
starts
make
with the parents. I'm
changes.
going to be honest. It starts with the guardian. It starts with how are you going to form this young mind? How are
Yes,
you going to be better than the people that you grew up with, who was your mentor, or so forth? How do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered? That kind of thing.
but I
I know I want
also,
to be remembered as that legacy.
yeah, I also think the problem as well is that there's still this thing of women should be quieter and men should
Yes.
be strong. They shouldn't show emotion, and the girls must just stum. That is not life nowadays. You know, we have
Yeah.
neurodivergence, we have ADHD, we have Asperger's, we have depression, we have all of these things within our lives. And how can we put systems, when it revolves around children and things like that, into an archaic system that was created however long ago?
But I
You
mean,
know?
speaking on neurodivergence, it also presents very differently in women than it does in men.
Exactly.
It's very easy to miss in women, especially young girls with ADHD, because it doesn't present usually as, you know, super active. It usually presents as internal active versus external active in their mind,
Yes.
rather than being an overexcited child.
Yeah.
So that is the other thing.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the problem, isn't it? And also a lot of testing that is done with regards to women is usually done on men because it's cheaper to do tests that way, the men route, than for women because of all of our hormonal problems.
Yeah.
And it's even with regards to menopause and women's health. It's not really spoken about, you know. And there's 48 symptoms with menopause.
Mm.
48, okay? And also between different cultures, between white and African. African women unfortunately get menopause usually earlier than a white woman. And still in this country, unfortunately, is a lot of people are like, well, she's just a bit crazy. She's just a bit, boof in the head. It's menopause, but no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to understand how this can really affect women, like massively. I had a friend leave her car on all night because she had this total brain fog and completely forgot she'd left the car on. So all these conversations around women need to be had in an industry that doesn't really want to talk about women as well.
Yeah, an industry that's catered by men to men, like for men.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but I mean, even so, with regarding hormones, ADHD, how it affects and how it changes because of our cycles. I
yeah.
watched a masterclass on it. It was beautiful how it explained it. Don't ask me to repeat it because it's yeah.
Yeah.
Is that me?
I don't know who.
Sounds like static.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone now. It's gone. I mean, it's the fact that a lot of women won't even talk to to their closest friends because they've been
Oof.
brought up of, you don't talk
Oof.
about these things.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's 2026. When can you start talking about them?
Yeah.
Because we all go through similar things. So why isn't anyone having conversations? Why aren't things being changed?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
I
it's
mean,
Yeah.
hopefully. No, you go, Lee. I've been talking too much. Go.
It's always me talking.
Okay. See, now I've lost my train of thought from brain fog, guys. It's the hormones.
it's
Oh,
okay.
you and me
It's
both,
okay.
my friend.
There's so many aspects with neurodivergence, all that stuff. I'm also getting like the flips because every time you guys say something, I'm like, yes, my goodness, relatable. It's actually just scary. It's only now recently in like the past couple of years, maybe I'm going to give it grace, decade, um, that women's health is becoming more important and
Yeah,
understanding it, especially menopause. Um, I didn't even know that premenopause started at 35. It starts
yeah.
at 35.
It can
What?
start younger. It can start younger. It
Oh, no, no,
depends.
no, no.
I was 37. I was 37 when I had to be surgically put into menopause
Oh, damn.
because I was the 21st person in the world diagnosed of being allergic to their own progesterone. So I'd go into anaphylactic shock every month.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Goodness.
my only way to cure this
Yeah.
was to have a full hysterectomy and oophorectomy, and it completely cleared it. But I went into full-blown menopause at 37, and I looked like someone who had been on every single drug you could think of because the
Sure.
sweat was just pouring off of my face. Now, when you're on a London tube and people are looking at you thinking, she's dodgy, you know what I mean? And when I had it done, this was 13 years ago. And
Yo,
then they didn't really know much about menopause. It's only
nothing.
been the last maybe 5 years that they're really talking about it in the UK, and they have menopause clinics and they have women's health. And that's why I became a psychosex therapist, was because of the menopause, because I needed to learn for myself.
There we go. It
And
usually
that's why
starts like
what I
that,
did my
eh?
thesis on. Sorry?
Yeah.
It usually starts like that. When
Yeah,
you can't find the answers yourself, you go
yeah.
searching, you go looking, and that's another thing. People love to gatekeep as well. That's another thing men love to do. I don't know, some women, sure, if they were trying to climb a ladder in some other kind of way, but again, it comes down to what you said.
So, I
Mm.
mean, when I lived in London and I used to work for universities, and that was my thing, working in universities. And in my whole life, in my whole career, I've worked for two women. And I'll never work for a woman again. Because when they get so far up that ladder, they forget who they are because they want to be so masculine. And we don't need to do that.
Mm-mm.
We don't need to become this stamp on the other women that are, coming after you. They kind of lose their grace and their empathy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because they've had to fight their way to the top. And they're like, well, I'm going to make you work for it. I get that, but there's also ways of doing it. Do you know what I mean? And so I would never work for a high-powered woman ever again. Never in a million years. Because
Yeah.
I got treated, my experience was I got treated like rubbish. So for me, it was like a red flag. And most women that I have met in London that have been from like high power, they lose their empathy because they've had to fight. And this is a problem.
Scary.
We shouldn't have to fight that hard where we lose
No.
ourselves within
Trauma
it.
response from
Yeah,
fighting so hard and
yeah,
dealing with everything.
yeah,
You need to heal from that. And unfortunately, in situations where you are at the top, you don't get a
yeah.
chance to heal because if you heal, you're weak and then someone can
Yes.
take your job.
And now if you think of that on a man's foot, right? They are told if they show emotions, they are weak.
Mm.
So we're kind
Mm.
of messing ourselves up, really, with this old narrative of you've got to fight yourself to the top and you've got to be the strong, powerful person. Or if you're a man, you can't show emotion.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
old school mentality and it needs to stop. So we
Mm.
have to start showing our children so that they can be better than what a lot of people are now. Because
Yeah,
it
show
Yeah.
shows
So,
in your
emotion.
children.
Like
yeah. So
whatever
that,
color you want to like.
Yes,
Do
I
your
don't
thing.
care.
Yeah.
As long as you
Like,
don't cause harm, that's all it should matter, you
yeah.
know?
mm-mm.
Samantha also says, yeah, in the comments that, she's trying to teach her son to understand and be conscious of what his sister's going through so that he can be better when
Oh,
he's older. And I think that's such an important thing to do. And it's something else I strive to do with my boys is for them,
Yeah,
they know when my period comes around. you know and I feel it's so important that they understand, and I explain to them, I'm like, this is what it feels like and this is
yeah,
why I'm not feeling very happy today, and they've become so gracious in dealing with me with that. And I feel like it's so important that we, like you say, we show our children that there's a better way to treat the women in their lives, but also so that they, that our girls can also see, this is a normal part of life and this is a normal part of being. And it's a beautiful part of being. It's not
not
something that we should
ugly.
try and get rid of as well either. That like it shows that you're healthy and your body's working the way it should, and it means that you can do this beautiful thing of bringing life into this world.
yeah.
It comes with its challenges though, so let's learn how to
It
work around
does.
it.
It does.
Mm.
But
So
it's also
definitely the
teaching the girls. It's a
yes,
two-way street.
yeah,
It's also teaching the girls that don't take advantage of your looks to get somewhere in life. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Don't rest on that type of thing, you can still be pretty and still have an amazing academic career or be a hairdresser or whatever you want to be. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
People don't have to codepend on each other in that sense. When I was growing up, it was very much like, well, you'll just marry a rich guy. There
yeah.
was no like academic kind of whatever for me. That was kind of like, here you go, just crack on.
That's your
And
only path.
yeah, I was very naive. And I mean, that's why I had a child at 16, because I had no clue. I hadn't had any of the information given to me, or, so all of these things. And you look back and you think, geez, with my kid, I was like, no, this is what this is, you make a mark for yourself, no matter what it is. As long as you are happy, I don't care. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Irene.
Sorry, I am not camera ready. We're talking about self-worth, yeah. And I am the biggest hypocrite. But I just wanted to come in on there about a lot of things. But what you just said about sharing knowledge and not knowing any better. I remember when I was pregnant, I was 29 years old. And I mean, I'm now 41. I thought I was a pretty savvy 29-year-old. And then I gave birth and I was like, holy cow, why did none of the women in my life tell me any of this? They didn't tell me a lot of things. There is no privacy when you give birth. And I decided then and there that I was going to, because it's difficult to talk about if nobody explains it to you, if nobody tells you how to talk about it. So when we're talking about our kids, and it's something that we all go through. Everything that we are talking about now is so relatable. All of us feel this. And if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, that's why we have the internet. But there are a few of us. So I decided then and there, every pregnant woman I came across, if she needed a safe space to ask those awkward questions, I'd put my hand up. I'm going to teach my nieces and my nephews and the kids and all of that it's okay. And I think it's just generations of cycles in different families, and then breaking the cycles. And then I know there's still some things that I feel slightly awkward about or embarrassed about. I was in a live once, just when I got onto TikTok, and I was busy messing around with the filters. And this guy was like, well, using filters is you deceiving your audience. And I'm like, dude, if you think I have no pause, that's not a me problem. That's clear. Do you think? I was like 39 or 40 or something. It's like, do you really think I have zero pause? What is wrong with you? That is your problem, not my problem. So
what are you talking about? These cat ears are natural.
Exactly.
I was dead. And then another woman came in and said, I've got such a good wig on. I was like, thank you. I don't have a wig on, but I'm worried about my hair loss. But if you think I've got a wig on, I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just put a double crown on.
Isn't that like the fact that you turned around and turned that comment into a compliment? That goes a long way, because a lot of people would have crumbled. And they would start thinking, oh my God, my hair, what's wrong with my hair?
Does it look fake? Is it not sitting properly? Do I have like a receding hairline on the one side that they think my wig's squiff or something?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did a rage cut on mine about a week and a half ago because my hair's falling out due to my conditions. So I've got like living hamsters walking around my house from the amount that's falling out. So, I'm like, I don't care. That's life. That's part of having chronic health or having hair loss.
And I think that's so important. I saw your post about your hair loss, and I've been experiencing it. And my hair has always been part of my identity. It's the one thing that I felt was beautiful about myself, because I'd always received validation and compliments on my hair. And I always thought my hair is going to be around forever. And now that I'm losing that, and there's the threat of, so if you don't have this glorious coconut oil vibe Indian hair, who are you?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it, and I was like, I will do what I want with my hair. If I'm gonna dye it, I'm gonna dye it. If I'm going to use, I see these toppers. If I want to use it, I'm gonna use it.
Exactly.
But behind closed doors, I'm still feeling that ache. I'm still feeling that pain, and I'm
I
still
get it.
feeling that confidence issues. But eventually, I think with just like all of us talking here and all of us sharing the same issues, I literally I only go out to impress women, right? I'm married, so when I'm putting on my makeup, girls, I'm putting it on for you.
Too right. Too
Thank
right.
you. I can tell you now I appreciate it. But yeah, when you're ready, you can show us just how beautiful you look.
She is beautiful. We have spoken to Rini, and she is beautiful inside and out. But I get what you mean about that identity, because as women, your hair it's a thing, and you'll see pictures of me, and I've got big, curly, big hair, like American big hair. Do you know what I mean? That big hair. And in the last year, it's just gone, completely gone. And it's right, okay, it's either you take the medication and live, or you don't take the medication and have hair. What are you going to go for? But if we don't have these conversations, then we alienate ourselves. Because look, Irina's going through the same thing. You know what I mean? And a thing shared makes it a half a problem.
Yeah. No, it's true. And especially with hair, I think as women, I don't know if you guys that have kids have experienced this, but for me, also, I'm always very proud of my hair. And when I had kids, yes, after every kid, I lost so much of it that I literally had like bald patches on the side of my head. My grandmother was sending me, hair growth serum in the post because she saw photos of me with my hair like all falling out. And it does create like a very big confidence knock. And I think as we do get older, you start to accept yourself more for who you are. But yeah, being able to just share that with other people and realize that this is a normal thing that a lot of people go through because our hormones do go crazy at times.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier to accept and to be like, okay, it sucks that it's lost. It does. But
But
there's
you know
still so
what?
much more value to who I am
Exactly.
than how my hair lies on my head. So yeah, it's quite a journey that you go on as a woman. And I think it's such a precious thing to be able to go through so much and still be standing at the end of it. I know I read that in the last week somewhere that especially during menopause, that's a time that more women commit suicide than any other time of their life
Oh,
because
yeah.
of all the changes that they go through. And that's such a sad thing for me because for me, growing old is such a beautiful thing to experience, to have the privilege of being at the end of your life and knowing that you've had
Yeah.
your family with you, you've had these experiences, you've made your mistakes, you've stood up from them. That's something that I really look forward to, but that it's something that a lot of women struggle with because the changes that you go through when you hit menopause is so vastly different from what you're used to in the rest of your life. That is
And
hard to cope with.
it completely changes your body, like completely. I mean,
Yeah,
I was like a size 8, size 10, and it's like that girl's long gone. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's the menopause. That's what it does, because the hormones change, and all of this
yeah,
changes. But if we're not having these conversations, people don't understand how normal it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
you can have hair loss, it can affect your skin. You can get acne when you're having
Yeah.
menopause, you know,
Um,
you sore skin and everything.
I think, like everyone's been saying, if we don't talk, you're never gonna know. If you don't ask, you're never gonna know. No
Yeah,
question is too stupid. Rather just ask
100%.
anything. Like,
Mm.
for example, okay, I can't have children. I went for a massive operation a few years back. It was one of those situations, okay, if you don't do this, this is
Yeah.
going to happen. And I wasn't going to leave my husband alone with a kid if we decided to have a child. So it's about, okay, quality of life and so forth and so on. And if I didn't ask the questions that I didn't ask, I probably wouldn't be here today. So I'm very glad I asked the stupid questions and
Yeah.
asked the doctors, okay, but is there no other option? Is there no this? And many a times, specialists think they know everything, but they don't.
You have to be your
Did
own
you especially
advocate.
look for me? Do you understand what's going on? Did you check my blood type? Oh no, I got your file confused with.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah, it's all those things you have to ask.
you have to be your own advocate. I
Mm,
mean, someone like myself who's come from chronic illness, who lives in chronic illness, and who's had bilateral mastectomies as well, 6 months after my hysterectomy. So if you don't advocate for yourself, I was saying to them, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And they're like, you can't have a mammogram, you're too young. But because I've got the BRCA1 gene as well, there's a huge hereditary in my family. I managed to get it pushed through. And I was just one of the lucky ones. I was very lucky in that sense because they did the operation. And like, oh, okay, yeah, that's, yeah, there was an issue. So if you don't advocate for yourself and you don't push people sometimes, you're not going to make a change.
yeah.
And I think having a bunch of women together, having discussions like this will also encourage teenagers and other kids and other women who might be sitting there, who might not say anything on these things, but they'll go away and they'll think about something. And they'll think, oh, that resonated with me. I'm not alone.
You know what I always this is a personal gripe. You may hear it in the passion in my voice. But when we go to specialists, and I've gone to with my husband and with my father and like my nephew, we go to the specialists and they have totally different conversations than they have with the woman. So Lee, when you were talking about asking your questions and what happened to you, I had such a scary birth. I decided after a few years, I had PCOS and I had this. I was going for like 2 ops a year eventually.
Sure.
And
No.
I had to have an ablation when I was like
Same,
38.
same.
It was
Same.
torture. And
They
when
told
I went
me
for that,
nothing. It was horrible. It was the worst experience of my life. Yeah, we can get into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
yeah, they burn your womb, guys. They burn
It's
your
wom, wom, wom,
womb.
like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Wom, 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 wom.
Yep.
Mhm.
And when
Yep.
I went for that, I decided, okay, I'm going to have my tubes tied at the same time. Maybe I can kill 50,000 birds with one stone and never go for an op ever again.
Yes.
And the gynae made me feel so bad. She's like, despite all your issues, let's put all this 15 years of pain and torture and the multiple cuts, so many cuts that they started having to cut on different parts of my body. But anyway,
No.
she was like, your ovaries are beautiful. And there's a lady that can't have kids. And I was like, I have so much empathy for your other patient. You can take my ovaries and you can give it to
Please
her.
take them.
But they're not working for me. I'm the patient. I'm the
Yeah.
one sitting here. How are you guilting me?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be okay. And I was gonna write a strongly worded email. I was done. But then I wrote it into my book instead.
Mooi. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Fearless.
Sometimes that's the best therapy, putting pen to paper.
But that's the problem, isn't it, when they don't listen? I remember when I was going into anaphylactic every month. Now, my husband does research. He found one paper on it in America. We took the paper to the specialist and they're like, no, can't be that. It's too rare. No, but everything is pointing to it. But this thing wouldn't be rare if women were known about it. So most women get hives and a bit irritated when they're due on, you know. So this is a form of that. It's a progesterone disease disorder. But then there's the other side of it where you go anaphylactic, and that's what I had. So it is called APD. Now, if people knew about it, they could understand it more. But they're like, no, your husband's not a doctor. I'm like, what do you think he does research? He's not an idiot. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
It literally doesn't hurt them to do the tests. Like, that's what I don't understand. Most of the time, it doesn't hurt them to do any test that you should be requesting.
Take my
I
money.
think it's also, I also think it's a matter of pride. Like, a lot of doctors feel like I'm the one who studied for 10 or 12 or whatever years, so I'm the professional, you should listen to me. But I think each one of us could tell a story of where we've been to a doctor. I had a dislocated coccyx at one stage, and the doctor just wanted to cut into it. And
Yeah.
and I asked him what are the risks. He's like, oh no, it's the same. You know, all surgery has risks. And then I went home. My husband wasn't with me at the consultation, and he had a friend who was also an orthopedic surgeon. And he went and asked his friend. He's like, there are so many risks. You do not want to do that unless you absolutely have to. But you know, it's if we foster these conversations and we start to learn what is actually normal and what isn't normal for our bodies to go through, then you know it would also hopefully the medical profession will start to realize we can't just hoodwink people. Like the amount of birth stories that I've heard where doctors tell the woman her baby's head is too round to go through the birth canal. I want to go through the roof when I hear shit like that.
Yeah. It's even
like legitimately that's happened. And I'm like, which medical school did you go to?
It's like even pain. With people,
but people don't question
pain.
it. Yeah,
They
but people
say
don't
that
question
you're
it
mad.
because a lot of people will just be like, oh, but that's what the doctor said, and I have to trust the doctor because they're the professional. They don't have the courage to stand up for themselves, and that's I think the worst possible thing, especially as women. I think men are a lot more assertive, and you can see that when you walk into a mechanic's shop any day. Because most men won't get taken for a ride, but we will.
Well, if you think how we're all talking about this, how do our teenage girls feel when it comes to their periods and maybe not having a period pad or not having a Tampax and not having anyone to talk to it about it?
Did you see the list of chemicals that are now like apparently so like it's just like why was this never a thing in the first place? There's literally tampons, pads, and stuff that you cannot use anymore because of the amount of chemicals that it leaches out, and of course you absorb it, and you get worse period pains from using certain brands because you're absorbing these chemicals.
In the UK, they're using a lot of period pens. So like the natural pens for period pens. Yeah.
There's a lot of natural options that we can. No, you do get them, but again, people don't know about it. Oh, do you know how easy they are to make, though?
Yes, natural ones. Yeah, the free flow.
So if you have any inclination to work a sewing machine, they are so easy to make, and they work out a lot cheaper. I mean, just the cost of sanitary pads and tampons is absolutely ridiculous nowadays. And you think to yourself, this is like a basic necessity. Can you imagine a girl in a township?
Yeah.
How do they afford it?
Well,
they don't. Let me tell you what happens is they skip school for a week every month. And then we wonder why they can't go to university.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
stuff
very
like
scary that basic needs like that just aren't spoken about. But it's like, have more kids. Have more kids.
You find condoms in bathrooms left, right, and center. No pads.
I would rather, like, I was actually speaking to my sister about this because some women have a very heavy flow. I know myself when I was going through the whole PCOS thing, there was a time where it was 5 months nonstop. It was just flow every single day. Wasn't fun. Okay. So now I was speaking to my sister. I'm like, okay, cool. If we had to have these underwear and stuff, how would we make it like thick? But we everything natural, material, fabric. There must be something, and there is. It's just
Yeah.
about searching for the right stuff, putting it
But
together,
it's
and it's
also
so
about the
easy.
expense of it. A lot of
Yes,
people can't afford
yes.
it. That's the
Cheap.
problem. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
needs
but
to
it's
be
not that
affordable.
expensive.
And
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
The base
maybe to
materials
make
aren't that
it,
expensive.
but the
Yeah.
people who are selling it
Yeah. Because
put
it's
the
got the
price up
natural
so
label
much.
on it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's frightening. That's scary to think that a teenage girl could be like worried about all these things that we've been talking about and has no clue or hasn't got anyone to talk to. Because also
such a vulnerable
maybe
state.
they're not allowed to talk like that because you don't talk about women's health.
Mm.
You don't talk about that. You just, and that's not right. There needs to be more discussions.
Or not
Yeah.
that,
Guys
sorry
know.
guys. Oh, sorry, Irini.
No,
I
go
just
for
wanted
it,
to jump in
Michaela.
there. It's not that they're not allowed to talk about those things, is they don't have anyone to talk about them to.
That too.
Because I didn't have anyone to be able to talk about that to. I mean, I had like no friends when I was going through that in that stage. And I didn't want to ask my mom.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, where do you go if you don't
And
have
this
anyone
is
to
why
talk to?
having maybe, I don't know if they do it here, it's like overseas, is quite a lot of like big sister and big brother things. So like little communities of big brothers and big sisters that help youngsters. You don't have it
No,
here?
no.
So I was
That would
That
talking
be
would be so
amazing.
great.
So I was talking
Yeah.
to a dealer this morning about this, because there's a couple of you ladies that I actually want to talk to about it, and how many people that I know overseas, like Estelle, she is one of those big sisters, and she helps the communities around her, and you basically get people that are in a place that kids respect, whether it's a celebrity of some sort or a sportsman or something, and you create these little hubs so that these kids feel safe, they feel heard, and they don't feel the need of having to commit suicide or whatever.
Don't come for me, but I think Sunday school was meant to be that, but that just ended up to be very culty vibes. No offense
No,
to
totally
anyone,
agree. I
but like
think,
really, it didn't feel. It was supposed to be a support thing. I was supposed to feel like, okay, I have no friends now, but this place is supposed to be my safe space, and I can talk about my personal things. Oh no, then it's just like a little. No, just read this verse of the Bible. That's not going to help me right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think religion and politics have got no places with regards to any of that.
exactly.
It's got to
Yeah,
be, I don't care what religion you are, what color you are, it's
exactly.
about being a decent human being and actually wanting to help without an ego.
Yeah.
Because that's unfortunately quite a big thing, is when people want to get involved in something, they're ego leg, or they are a title hunter.
Yeah, status.
Yeah. So it's about, I think, having conversations like this, and also schools, having conversations like this in schools with safe spaces. And, there's a guy that I know, his brother committed suicide. So he actually started a website where people can write letters, and they all go on this website, and if someone is feeling suicidal, they can read a letter. And the amount of feedback they've got from this is it's stopped like so many people from committing suicide. Just from letters of maybe people who have thought the same way, and, really coming from different angles at it.
Yeah, it's just opening that conversation. Hey?
Yeah. It has to be a conversation. And it also has to be a conversation where the adult listens.
Yes.
The helplines are also amazing. They phone back to check in after one brief call. That's cool. But sometimes those kids are so scared of using a helpline, they don't know what's right or wrong
I think
Yeah.
you're just
as
scared
well.
what to say or how to start, especially when you're that young. You don't know if this other person on the hotline I see at the bottom, or to go to someone. But once you get that courage to speak at that age, there needs to be more safe spaces, like you mentioned, for kids to feel I can speak about this to this person.
Yeah.
I can open up.
I think everyone deserves a safe space.
Yeah.
Because just because we get older doesn't mean that we don't need that safety, you know. And I think it's needed for a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of adults. And there needs to be more conversations like this about mental health, about women's health, about men's mental health, the whole 9 yards, because it's everybody, right? And it just takes a few people to make a ripple effect.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about people being brave and actually just having a voice and saying, actually, I'm fed up of this.
Yeah, I think that's what's so powerful about SAIAA in general, is
Yeah.
just the community aspect of it, where we have that safe space, but also where we can just stand up together and say, this is
Yeah.
not okay anymore.
No,
We
and
need a
it's not
better
okay.
way.
You know, it's not okay, is it? And especially with my rant yesterday about book clubs using pirated copies, that
But
just
you're
pushed
allowed
me
to
over the
rant like
edge.
that.
Hey?
You're allowed to rant like that. It's totally valid. Yeah.
So,
I don't
yes, it
think people
is.
grasp the idea how hectic it is, actually.
Yeah. I think people don't realize that when they're downloading something, okay, they are instantly committing that crime. But when they then go and distribute it to other people, that's an even bigger crime. Because that's distributing with intent. And I
Yeah,
don't think anybody understands that logic.
Yeah.
Why would you want to get a police record over an ebook? It's like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, and you know, it's.
Yeah,
I
especially
don't
for an
think
ebook that you can get cheap.
yeah,
Yeah,
for a cup
that's the
of coffee,
thing.
and I don't think it's become such a norm that readers are like absolutely shocked when we're like, this is not actually okay.
I
When you
know.
approach them and be like, yeah, this is actually theft. But it's become such a norm that
Yeah.
it's like surprising, like, oh, yeah, it actually isn't the right thing to do. But it's, yes, it's soul crushing to see it as an author. There goes your book.
Yeah.
It's just been taken. And that's what can you do?
One
But
of
then this
my,
is,
sorry.
no, go.
One of my followers sent me a DM and said, "Hey, don't give away my favorite book place." I'm like, well, don't go do illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe support the whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite funny. I'm just like, yeah, cool.
It's,
Maybe.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's a difficult one, right? Because it's just about keep on pushing this narrative that piracy is, put it this way, if it carries on, eventually there will be no writers because they'll get fed up of it. So those writers that you love, those authors that you really crave, it makes you just think, why is my phone doing this?
But speaking on that, I mean,
Hold on.
those big authors have teams who do what you guys are doing and go look for the
Yeah.
piracy and then pull it,
Yeah.
and they have those big teams. Unfortunately, indie authors and small press publishers and hybrid publishers don't have the capacity or the teams who
Yeah.
are literally dedicated to just looking for piracy books.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We just got
Yeah,
to
I
keep
don't
on
know.
fighting the fight.
Mm.
We've
Yeah.
got 2 minutes left.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah, it's gone quick, right?
Are we going to
Yes, yes.
dance? Are we going to clap? What are we going to do? Last 2 minutes. Let's make this fun.
Okay, each one of you say why it is so amazing being a woman indie author. Come on, it made me feel.
Yeah, just being able to write a story with a really strong female character to show that this is actually something that can change the world. Being a woman is something that can change the world.
100%. Next.
I enjoy writing a female villain that has actually got a backstory, and it's not just, oh, it's heartbroken by a man or something silly, who's actually got genuine motivation as to why she's a villain.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Next. Quick.
I just love being a
think it's-
female author in a great local group, and it's just like, yes, I feel like Woman Charmed, the series.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember that. I feel like that. Like,
Yes,
yes,
love it.
okay, when are we going to do some martinis in the middle of the night? I'm ready.
Natasha.
For me, it's just having a space to say something without worrying about being judged, because it's word on a paper. You don't know me. You can't judge me.
Yeah. Awesome. Tareen?
For me, writing as a female is I get to actually voice these issues that we have through my stories. I think because I love writing my females saying, listen, you men treating women like this is not on. Wearing dresses to kind of oppress women is not cool. I want to wear pants.
Yes, wear those pants. What about you, Michaela? Being a woman?
I think being able to reconnect with my girlhood and like my inner child.
Love that. Love that. Yes. And that's exactly it. We might be adults, but we all need to realize that we still have those amazing young girls within us who are dying to still come out and play.
Wait, I need my...
Oh, there she goes, bring on a crown.
Yes.
Love the crown.
Yes, because we're all queens.
We're
all magical and we're all awesome.
Love
We
it.
are. I really love doing this evening, and I'm so glad that you all joined, and I hope we do it again, because I think it's really fun.
Yay!
Yes,
Thank you so much,
absolutely.
Angie. Thank you, Mish. Thank you, everyone.
Keep
Lee,
well.
Natasha.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Renee.
Bye.